Thank you for joining me on this video today. Before I jump into our topic, just want to share the picture of the money tree. Think about it 20, 30, 40, even 50 years ago when you were young, when you were born, maybe 1 or 2 years old. Wouldn't it have been amazing if your parent, grandparent, aunt, uncle, someone like that planted seeds for your money tree? Planted a money tree that now you could take advantage of and have a better financial future. Well, that's what we're going to talk about today, is how that money tree can be started with like $1 a day, $2 a day, $3 a day, very little of an investment to grow a giant money tree for those littles that are important in your life. And we start talking about things. We're going to talk about index savings plans, index college savings plans, and index $1 million baby plans. Those are just three names. They're all the same thing. They're essentially plans that they go up when the market goes up. When the market crashes, they level off, meaning like in 2008 or even in March of 2020, these plans lost no money because the money is not in the market. The market is just the barometer to help the plans grow and to help the plans stay safe. So as we look at this, first thing we're going to talk about is what's going to happen in our future. So let's take a look at this. Total student outstanding debt. Now this was in 2019. Of course it's more, it's probably 1.8 trillion, or maybe even by the time you're watching this, $2 trillion. Student loan debt is the #1 total debt in our country, even more than credit card debt. Can you imagine that? And the reason that's happened is because the cost of college has probably tripled in the last 10 years for most colleges. And I'm not going to argue with why it's tripled, but we know that college is more expensive, right? So if you think about that, colleges are more than happy to loan you money that you're required to pay back. Most college loans cannot be bankrupted off of somebody's financial plan. You're really obligated for those, and when parents co-sign for their child, the parents are obligated to those. Now, since there's so much money out there in these, I think that this is going to be the next bubble. Remember, we had the housing bubble, we had the stock market first in 2001, 2, and 3. We had the stock market bubble burst, right? Then in 2008, we had the housing market burst. Then we had in 2020, with the pandemic, we had kind of a stock market bubble burst. And finally, this debt is going to be a next bubble that's going to burst. So that's going to make college loans harder to get. Wouldn't it be great if your child or grandchild, niece or nephew, had a giant pile of money that they could access and not have to worry about applying for a college loan? We'll talk about some of those requirements in a minute. Now, when we look at the types of ways people can fund college, there are many ways they can do it. You can prepay with some colleges, things like that, but often people do what are called 529 college plans. Well, 529, that number is a part of the IRS tax code, just like 401k, 403b, 457. Those types of things were created by the IRS. So who makes the rules on them? The IRS. Who sets the regulations? The IRS. Now, if we think about 529 plans, they're cool because the money goes in, and then when the child takes it for college, it's not taxed. Well, could that rule ever be changed? Do you think the government has ever started taxing things that were not taxed previously? For sure, because that's what the government needs. They need our tax money, don't they? But look at all those no's for those 529 IRS plans. They're up and down in the stock market. In 2008, if you'd had $20,000 in there for a year of college for your grandchild, in 2009 they would have had $8,000, right? Non-direct college expenses. A lot of 529 plans cannot be used. The money can't be used for off-campus housing. Impact on financial aid. 529 plans impact financial aid because you have to list them on the FAFSA form. Index college savings plans, you do not have to list those as an asset. College scholarships can be impacted with 529 plans because when you go to apply for many college scholarships, you have to list the assets you have. Index college savings accounts are not assets you have to list for college FAFSA forms and scholarship applications. If you don't use 529 money for college, there's a 10% penalty, or somebody in your household or in that child's family has to go to college. If the child doesn't go to college, they can start their own business. They can join the family business, whatever it happens to be. They can use that money for whatever they want to. And then finally, non-accredited programs. These days, if somebody wants to go to beauty school or cosmetology school, cooking school, welding school, some of those may not be eligible for 529 money, but they would be eligible for index college savings account because that is your own money. That's that child's money to use as they choose, as they see fit. Now, we do talk about $1 Million Baby Plan, but again, all these plans are the same. They work the same way. So could you imagine your child or grandchild, niece and nephew is 15 days old, 3 months old, a year old, 2 years old, it really doesn't matter. And you start putting away $1 a day, $2 a day, $3 a day, $100 a month. That's only $3 a day, right? Not very much. You put that money away, then at age 22 or 23, they're going to have a giant pile of money, $10, $15, $20,000 possibly, that they could use to go to college, get their first car, start their own business, whatever, go to welding school, whatever they want to do, get their real estate license, whatever they want. It does not matter. That's their money to choose, completely tax-free. If they let that money keep going in there, and then maybe the parents start putting in more money, then the child, after they get their first job, they start putting more money in, 100, 200, 300 a month, giant pile of money for later in life. How would that make you feel? That you gave this little person in your life, you gave them a giant head start on having this huge pile of money later in life. You planted seeds for that money tree. Let's take a look at a couple of grandparents. Look at these grandparents. How happy are they knowing that they did for their grandchild this fantastic thing? And again, all they did was they planted a seed early in that child's life, and that seed grew and grew and grew and grew. More people watered it, more people put more fertilizer on it, then it became a giant money tree for that child. So as I wrap up, just think about it again. Looking at this money tree on the screen, how would you have liked to have a money tree planted for you when you were young, and that you could access tax-free and take money out of that money tree whenever you wanted? I guarantee that most of us would have loved to have had that. So thank you for listening. You see my contact information on the screen. Give me a call, shoot me an email. Be more than happy to talk with you about your littles, about their age, and then how much you might want to contribute, and I can get you an illustration that could show what this giant pile of money can grow up to be. So thank you very much, and I hope you get use out of this video and more videos that I share about how to protect and grow the money for yourself or for your loved ones.